Horrible thread by Ben Shapiro. What is this?
Only walking down the street, you wouldn't think anything different.
14-year-old Ryland Whittington is a typical Southern California teenager. And the Whittingtons, along with mom Hillary, dad Jeff.
From the 90s? Wait, what is this video quality and what is this kid's hair? Are they a skateboarder? Are they a rockin' baseball in the lawn? Is this from the 90s? What is this?
And sister Brinley are a typical family. The only difference, though, in Ryland's eyes, is what this family can mean to the tens of thousands of kids under 18 who identify as transgender.
We put our story out there so people could see that like there's another family out there that is going through what we're going through, or there's another family who's proud of who they are.
Before Ryland could even speak, he managed to tell his parents that he is a boy.
I could just see that it wasn't him trying to be a brat. It was like painful. It was truly painful for him.
Immediately, conservatives are going to frame this as the parents grooming the kid, but like this, the whole like parents calling something about a kid's identity long before they're like grown up or whatever is a pretty normal thing, you know? Like parents do it all the time with kids being gay, right? Like that's like a whole meme basically. Where it's like, oh yeah, I knew he was gay because he was like gay or something. You know, like they do that all the time. There's nothing about that that implies grooming.
For him to have to wear feminine clothing and for us constantly telling him that you're a girl.
And unlike some trans kids, when Ryland came out at age 5 a few years later, he had the full support of his parents.
Initially, there was some pushback from us in trying to understand this.
We were confused like most people are.
Pushback? Wait, did this 5-year-old trans guy debate his parents and win? Holy shit. Power levels are off the chart.
We thought that gender and sexuality were the same thing. It took us a while to figure out that those two things are different and that children actually do recognize their gender identity very young. Some of them, not all.
But they listened to Ryland and to Hillary's conservative faith.
For me, it's just a deep spiritual belief that if you believe in God and he, created us the way he wanted us, well then yes, he created Ryland just the way he is.
And
there's nothing in Christian scripture that contradicts the existence of trans people, by the way. Like literally nothing. That just it just doesn't. As far as I'm aware, like there's nothing in it at all. They'll usually try to do this like God made your body the way it is thing, but if that's the case, like why the fuck do you wear glasses, you know? Like, oh, then don't get a heart bypass, you fat fuck, you know? Like, yeah, it's yeah.
Listen to families. They met in support groups.
There was a father who was sitting across the table. He says, "You have no idea how lucky you are to be here," which kind of took me back. I didn't at that point consider myself lucky to be there. And he said, our child had displayed this gender dysphoria or this gender misalignment at the same age that Ryland has. And we didn't listen and we pushed back.
That pushback led that child to turn to self-harm as a teenager, which 60% of trans and non-binary kids engage in, according to the Trevor Project. More than 50.
Though it's worth noting that the rate of self-harm decreases by an order of magnitude, several orders of magnitude, massively so, with supportive parents. Yeah.
50% consider suicide.
Oh, and another fun thing, by the way. I don't know if I'd say it's fun, actually, but for transgender and non-binary youth who have supportive parents, the rate of suicide consideration is lower than the cisgender average. If with parental support, this number goes down below cis youth.
Consider suicide.
That for me was the turning point. I didn't want to see Ryland go through that.
I'd rather have a living son than a dead daughter. I guarantee that if we had pushed back and done what a lot of parents do, I don't think that we would have either one of the kids that you.
People are confused about why this is on Fox, but you have to understand that Fox is like a big multimedia juggernaut. And the people that do Fox News are not the pundits. When you guys see Fox on my channel, you look at pundits. But there are elements of Fox reporting that are done in the same like standard rote of affair that you would get from CNN or whatever. Fox News, for the most part, usually across, the country, is like standard news stations. That's not to say there isn't sometimes a bias, but like there are people who work at Fox who do regular reporting,
You see before.
Is this a local affiliate?
for you here today.
Allowing him to live authentically and true to himself and be who he really feels like he is. When you get to know Rylan, you see just how proud and confident he is of himself.
Ryland's story got international attention in 2014 when a family YouTube video went viral, and Hillary has since written a book called Raising Ryland.
I never thought that I would be known for this like as well as I am, but really
We're fighting for a future where this is normal. Hey, to everyone in chat who seethes at the gigapassoids, all right? We're building a future where this isn't going to be an issue.
it's just a small part of who I am.
He just brushes things off his shoulders, like it's fine. He moves on in his life, and he's just kind of, I think everything we've been through, he's just like learned to do that, and
He looks so happy. Yeah, notice absolutely no evidence of unhappiness, reluctance, or resistance on his part. This is years and years of consistent gender identity as a guy. Evidently uninterrupted, you know.
really good at it. I could never do that.
The Whittingtons believe sharing their story could make a lasting difference in another child's life, something they learned from that support group father nearly a decade ago.
I'm just here to make the ride smoother for others. You might be struggling right now, but we believe in you, this family. We might not know you, we might not know where you live, but you know, we understand you and we believe in you.
What extraordinary courage displayed by Ryland, his sister.
Damn, really hitting it up with the affirmative Fox News take here.
Brinley, Father Jeff, and Mom Hillary. I want to thank the Whittington family for speaking to us. It's not easy, particularly at a time when transgender issues have been politicized.
Oh, hey, whew. This guy's losing his job. Hello.
People are afraid of what they do not understand, Dana. This family hopes their story will lead to more understanding, more acceptance, and ultimately more.
God damn. This is recent, I assume. Hold on. So the people are seething over. So this is Matt Walsh. Thread, I've appeared on Fox News many times. I appreciate the platform they've given me. If what I'm about to say ruins that relationship, so be it. We have to call this evil lunacy out where we see it. The evil lunacy that we just saw. Especially on our own side. Today, Fox ran a long segment for Pride Month celebrating a trans kid who came out as a boy in the age of 5. The piece did not simply report on the controversy surrounding child transitioning, it outright promotes the practice. Good. The reporter said the child announced a new gender as a toddler. Does Fox want us to believe babies can choose their gender? They can. Yeah, 100%. Gendered behavior and preferences can be identified like really early on in human development. Yeah. This is the most extreme, radical, dangerous form of gender ideology. It's being promoted on Fox News. The poor kid is 14 now. The poor kid, that suffering child that you all just saw, with a permanently altered body, condemned to live forever with an identity imposed as a small child. Again, saying that it was imposed by the parents. It is horrifying, evil, and sick, and it's what Fox chooses to promote. I know for a fact that many people at Fox don't approve of this, never would have agreed to air radical far-left trans propaganda. But Fox reporter Brian Linus, we'll take a look at this in a second. I wonder if this guy's going to have a job next month. Chose to do this story, and someone at Fox chose to put on the air. Everyone involved should be fired immediately. Ah, yeah, true. Matt Walsh has yet to answer this question. We know the answer is yes, though. I would kill every ape in the world to save one human because humans are more important. This is a very simple concept, folks. Would you suck every ape stick to save one human? The answer is yes. Otherwise, you know, what is he even talking about? And then now we have Ben Shapiro. This would be absolute despicable, insane lunacy if I saw it on CNN or MSNBC. To see it on Fox News is a complete betrayal of anything remotely resembling conservatism or decency. Every element of this video is propagandistic, dangerous garbage. It's framed like a very standard daytime TV, like, expose. Like, the framing of the video is very standard for a news channel. The report states this biologically female child was choosing her gender before she could speak. This is madness. Didn't they say that he chose his gender at 5? I'm pretty sure you can speak at 5. All the mother said was that even before he could speak, there were elements of his behavior that came off more masculine. But that wasn't choosing his gender. That The report further states Ryland's parents began social transition at age of 5. This is child abuse. No, it's not. There's no evidence whatsoever that this corresponds to child abuse or any negative outcomes. The vast majority of children who display signs of gender dysphoria desist over time. This is a referring to a fake news study. I really need to get around to making that document. So when conservatives say the vast majority of children who display signs of gender dysphoria desist over time, what they're actually saying is there's a study showing that the vast majority of children who engage in gender non-conforming behavior don't turn out to be transgender. That is a totally different thing. Demonstrating gender nonconformity is something cis people do. Just gender dysphoria isn't. Those are two completely different things. Completely different. Basically, everyone demonstrates some standard of gender nonconformity growing up because there are so many ways to trip that flag. All the time. Constantly. Yeah, you know? So basically they were like, we can't help but notice that only 98% of people who have gender dysphoria when they're young end up being cisgender later. But what they actually mean is demonstrate gender nonconformity. Completely different thing, deliberately dishonest study, made by Satan, devils, ontologically evil, blah, blah. The report is absolute horrifying propaganda. We've got mom citing her Christian faith to justify the perversion of biological identity. Oh, how the turns table. How the shoes face the table fit, Ben. We've got the radical gender theory activist Trevor Project stats. Trevor Project is just an organization that tries to prevent suicides in LGBT youth because Ben Shapiro is in favor of queer kids killing themselves. That makes them a radical organization to him. Ben Shapiro is aware of the fact that transitioning and gender affirmative care for trans youth is likely to make them kill themselves far less, and he wants them to kill themselves. So, yeah. Literally, look at the Trevor Project. Here's a pop-up. Your donation could help ensure our 24/7 confidential suicide prevention and crisis intervention care are here tomorrow, and everyday LGBT youth people need us. Top of the tag right here. Trevor Text and Trevor Chat will be unavailable tonight due to scheduled maintenance. Wait times to reach a counselor are higher than usual. Thanks for your patience. We'll be with you soon. You deserve a counselor. It's all suicide prevention. But he wants them to kill themselves, so. I'd rather have a living son than a dead daughter is again propagandistic sloganeering. There is no credible evidence that transition alleviates suicidal ideation among children who identify as LGBTQ. This is literally just... So this is not only a lie, it is the opposite of all truth we have on it. Yeah, it's just... I'm sorry. I don't know. It's like, it's just... Yeah, Credible is doing heavy lifting here because he would just cite literally all evidence on the subject, no doubt, as non-credible. Sorry, I have a research document on this, but it's been so long since I've pulled it up that I don't even have it like auto-saved to my thing. Gender transition has a positive effect on trans people. Literally everything says this. Like there's no ambiguity on the results here. All evidence that we have everywhere and meta-analyses of that evidence clearly indicate the gender-affirming blah, blah, blah. You know that it's not true. We've got dad talking about living authentically by hormonally transitioning a biologically female child. They didn't even mention any medical shit with the trans boy, did they? Did they mention hormones? I don't even know if there were hormones involved. There might be. I don't know if there are, though. Transition that, if continued, will result in biological sterilization and or breast or genital mutilating surgery. The family became famous in 2014 when Ryland, now 14, was 6 years old. Mom wrote a book about her own heroism. This isn't about the children. It's about pushing a gender theory that victimizes small children, except they're happier now, so whatever. This is happening on Fox News, where the family's being praised for their courage. People are afraid of what they don't understand, the reporter says, but we do understand the agenda. We understand this is propaganda on behalf of the children, and it's vile. Fox News is too important to conservatives to be weaponized on behalf of the most radical leftist propaganda imaginable, propaganda that aims directly at the mental and physical health of children. Yeah, so on. So anyway, they're mad, basically. Mad, sad, and very bad. I don't feel like there's much point in dissecting this, because there's nothing to even say here. What he's saying is just objectively incorrect. It's just factually not the case. You know? It feels like, I mean, I might as well try to argue against the idea that, like, I don't know, that, like, the sky is red or so. You could be during a sunset or something. I don't know. There's no point. Nice memes. This Brian Lennis person, Twitter. I wonder if they're doing anything on Twitter right now. Wait, do they not have a Twitter? I don't see a Twitter. Wait, top 50 Latino voice to follow on Twitter. Where's the Twitter? Here it is. Why couldn't I find that when I Googled that? Yes, here we go. People are seething over this. Chat, I don't care if you ratio the last one. I do want you to be big on this one. There we go. He's also gay? All gay people are good. No, wait, that's not true. All good people are gay. That's true. All right, chat. That one you need to do work on. And I'm even going to retweet that so you can get in there, okay? If you're not ratio, then you're gaystio. Because you're gay.